All right, DFS is pretty obvious how it's going to start out. People are going to play a lot of Tom Brady. And you're probably going to see 4-2 setups for the Buccaneers very frequently. 3-3 also likely. I don't believe that you can't get like an elite 4 of the Buccaneers and still fit in Daniel Jones because he checks in, he's expensive because he's a quarterback.
You can't do an elite one, but you can have one that's in the mix. You can
definitely do it, yeah, for sure. So let's see. If you want to do all right, Tom Brady 16-8, Mike Evans 15-3, Leonard Fournette, these are captain prices, obviously. Leonard Fournette 15, Daniel Jones 14-4, Chris Godwin 14-1, Saquon Barkley 11-7. That's intriguing as a captain for his price, given his usage, assuming that he is back and playing, of course. Kenny Golladay 10-5, Kadarius Toney 10-2, Evan Ingram 9-9, Rob Gronkowski 9-3. My good friend Mike Glennon starts us off at the quarterbacks 9K. I usually every time the Giants are in prime time, I usually always put a Glennon captain. Like if something were to happen to Daniel Jones in this game and Glennon has to come in and has to play, we've seen it. It's happened before this year. I want the opportunity to tell Mike that he won me $1 million. It's worth the $20 to me to make sure to not have to not be like, hey, thanks. Thanks for you didn't win me $1 million. I don't know. Anywho, the obvious best captain I think is Tom Brady, but he might not be the most optimal, right?
No, I don't. I mean, you can obviously make a decent lineup. It's not like, usually when we do some of these lineups, it's really tough to get that top guy in and make a competitive roster. I think because you can with Brady, that means he's going to be highly owned. I mean, it's just going to be I think it's going to still be an insane number.
Yeah, he should be. He should have carried plenty of ownership in this spot. So what's your initial lean for a captain?
Well, if you go with Brady, I still think that you can have, an elite collection of players here. You can go with Brady as the captain in one of the lineups. It's a little bit more chalky, but you can go Brady, Evans, Godwin. So you get your pretty much your key stack there. You can still go Jones, and then you can go with value with either Gio. You can go Gio Bernard later on down, whether if this turns into more of a passing type of game, and then you can wrap that up with Kyle Rudolph and hope that you get that 2 receptions for 6 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yep, you can do that. The other thing, what are we looking at? How much is who are we looking for? Gio or Rudolph?
Gio
was Kyle.
Gio was 18 and Rudolph is 2,200.
Oh, it's kind of pricey for Kyle Rudolph. But
yeah.
Yes, there's not a lot of savings down there. John Ross at 400 is an interesting name in terms of value. If for some reason Slayton or Golladay is ruled out, it's gonna be tough for him to see a ton of snaps if both of those guys are in there, though. I think. The other thing you can do is if you wanted to go, I built a similar one here. Take out Evans and Rudolph, and let's add while we're down there. No, let's add Saquon. Nice little price on Saquon. 7,800 he is going to be highly owned and then we can toss in Ryan Suckup, the Buccaneers kicker. I guess it's a projection of about 100 points, which is, if you get, if Brady goes to Evans, you banged. If Brady throws 3 touchdowns to Mike Evans or 2 to Gronk, we're toast. Well, it could be competitive as long as Godwin gets some, and then we get Daniel Jones dumping off to Barkley on the back end.
Yeah, I mean, you could see Godwin have just a ton of work in the middle of the field, and then they cash in with Gronk and Evans, but still have a quality day for Godwin.
Yeah, for sure. And you're getting access to Barkley and Daniel Jones. The one concern with Barkley would be, he's got to be involved in the passing game. They do have good linebackers with the Buccaneers. They could certainly limit his ability to break up, but he's looked really good. I think he's looked really sharp when he's been out there and fully healthy. Yeah. We've seen him looking very much explosive at various times this year. The other option, let's do a 5, just a Bucs, because we both said we like the Bucs against the spread, right?
Yep.
There's a way to get should we differentiate the captain spot? Brady's.
I mean, we could go Godwin if we just love the volume.
Yeah. Go Godwin captain. Let's see. Godwin captain in this Bucks. There's a Bucks onslaught. So we're gonna go Godwin captain. Obviously, add Tom Brady. Add Mike Evans. Add Leonard Fournette because we're gonna assume that they're pounding the football afterwards. And let's toss in our Buccaneer. Oh, we can't pay for the Buccaneers defense, can you? So let's see. Let's have those 4 guys, and then
You could do Ronald Jones, maybe. Just kind of hope
or
that
OJ Howard and Darius Slayton. You do
I
that
like
combo.
that. I like that.
So it's just Brady throwing bombs all over the place, and then the Buccaneers not doing anything. I mean, assuming the Giants not doing anything, basically.
Yeah, that seems to
I mean, that's 4 or 5-figure guys up there on the price tag.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to really, get that savings down below. So for sure.
Yeah, maybe the move is even to. I guess Leonard Fournette's more expensive than Chris Godwin. I was trying to think.
Could you take out Evans and throw in Gronk and maybe hope for that red zone? You're cashing with Gronk on the red zone as opposed to Evans.
So we go. Yeah, Brady, Fournette, Gronk. Let's see who we can add in there. So we got. Yeah, I mean, then you're still basically only upgrading from OJ Howard to Ryan Suckup, I think. Unless you just want to go dirt cheap with the Giants. The problem is, I mean, we think the Giants will score, I mean, a couple touchdowns, right? Maybe? I mean,
I would think so. Like I said on the pod, I mean, they do score more on the road than they do at home around.
Yeah, Daniel Jones is like good against the spread on the road. It's weird.
Yeah, 23.3 points per game away from MetLife, around 17 points per game at MetLife.
I mean, this is going to be a Bucks. I mean, people are just going to play the Bucks. Now, the other thing you could do here, if we wanted to, Mike Evans for, we could do Buccaneers defense as the captain.
Okay, I like that.
And so we got Tampa defense as the captain,
and just hope for a New York.
Yeah, there we go. Good job. We got and then go Tom Brady, obviously. Mike Evans, obviously. Chris Godwin. And then let's see, that leaves us enough to get Daniel Jones and Gio Bernard, which is not a terrible combination.
No.
And you get the 5-1 onslaught, which is if you have the 5 Buccaneers versus the 4-2 or the 3-3, you're going to have less lineups that are going to be similar to yours. Maybe Gio catches a pass. In this scenario, it's not great not having Leonard Fournette, but
Right, I know what you mean, because like Fournette under this game script, it is a dominating day by the defense, and theoretically, you would have the Buccaneers just run the football and kill clock, especially in the second half there. But
exactly.
But you can also play. I don't know, but we were talking about this too on the pod. Like you could do that and still have this idea of the Buccaneers just putting their foot on the gas. After getting called out, Arians just chucking it all over the field, and they're just not slowing down. So you might not even need Fournette.
Well, and then the other thing too is that with the Buccaneers defense as the top captain, one you're hoping for you need low like if the Giants don't turn the ball over and score 14 points, the Buccaneers defense is not going to be great. You need sacks, you need fumbles, you need picks, you want a defensive touchdown, you need no points whatsoever from the opposing team for the defense to pay itself off. So, you're sort of thinking while there's a chance that the Bucs, put up a ton of points, it maybe some of it comes defensively. Right.
Well, a good example would be last week against the Patriots against the Falcons. I bet you for a large majority of that game when they were shutting them out, that defense captain-wise was not in the optimal. But when they finished the game with 4 straight picks, one of them being a pick 6, then all of a sudden they start to really
the defense is very much in the optimal, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's a great point. And I'm trying to think. I had that up actually before. Let me see what I'm not gonna try and find it. But yes, I mean that there's a very good chance that now the Buccaneers defense can be very leaky on the back end, but they also just lost to they lost to Trevor Siemian and Taylor Heineke. You think the Buccaneers? I mean, we talk about Tom Brady being pissed off. How about the Bucs defense being pissed off? I mean, but those guys are saying like, all right, we got to do our part too. Like the offense has got to score, but we need to put these guys on lockdown. And there's are very few quarterbacks more fumble and interception prone than Daniel Jones in the NFL.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston's out for the year, so Daniel Jones might be number one. Maybe Sam Darnold.
And you could easily see a scenario where he just goes out to run. I mean, like we say, he runs the football a lot. And this time we think it might be a little bit more on scrambles, but even still, the Buccaneers have fast linebackers. They can get to him, hit him hard, and if that thing pops out, you're going to have a lot of Buccaneers hands jumping on that thing.
I mean, you just picture like Vita Vea coming in and like just like bear hugging, Daniel Jones, and the ball just squirting out. All of a sudden, Antoine Winfield or Levante David just got it in their hands, or racing back, cannons going off, and we're wondering why didn't we play the Buccaneers defense? Also, at their price, 7,800 is not exactly cheap for a captain defense.
No.
Right? And
no.
Now it's possible that they will come with some ownership just because of the nature of Daniel Jones and his turnovers.
But also, I think that there's still that reputation out there by the casual viewers that this defense is what we saw last year in the Super Bowl, super dominant.
Sure.
I do, and they've been good this season, but also they've been leaky on that back end, like you said.
Very leaky on the back end. The Bucs check out 9th in DVOA, 4th against the run, 12th against the pass. So yeah, they're good. They're not elite. Man, this game, the Giants are actually 15th in DVOA, just terrible against the run. Should we build a we got tons of time, but should we build a I think there's a good case for a Leonard Fournette captain spot.
Yeah, sure.
He is at $15K. He is more than Chris Godwin, only $300 less than Mike Evans, and $1,300 less than Tom Brady. I don't think you will see very many people use him as a captain spot with that price.
I was just going to say, he is right sandwiched in between a lot of players where I think a lot of fans will want to pick more. He won't be a very popular guy there because they'll see either they want to pay up for Brady or Evans, or they'll say, screw it, I'll just get the savings and come down a little bit and take a Godwin or a Barkley or a Daniel Jones.
You can do let's see, if you do Leonard Fournette as a captain, you're sort of thinking an under-ish type of game more than likely, but Fournette also has been used a ton in the passing game. They've thrown the ball to him plenty. We're going to play Tom Brady, of course. I don't think I'm building a lineup that doesn't have Tom. Well, I mean, maybe we can do our Costanza lineup without Brady, but I'm unlikely to build a lineup that does not feature Tom Brady. So we're gonna put Brady in there, Godwin. Let's toss Daniel Jones in there too. And then that we can go to like some combination of OJ Howard and Darius Slayton. Right there at the top, the 3,200. He's yeah. You give a Kyle Rudolph instead if you wanted to, and you're hoping for short touchdowns. And you go, actually X out Howard, and because Kyle Rudolph is not popping very well. It's not popping at all in these optimals. So Kyle Rudolph probably won't come with a ton of ownership. People would rather, just the combinations you can get or make it. Close out Slayton, add Rudolph, and then let's see who else we can add from the. So you get Gio instead of OJ Howard. Just moves you up a little bit. I don't hate that, especially with Fournette as our captain.
Right
at the optimal, you would think that, we'll see what they do with Ronald Jones. You never effing know what Bruce Arians is going to do with these running backs. Drives me nuts.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent to a Brady-led Patriots team where you're just like, I don't know which running back to trust here. They were nightmares for fantasy owners pretty much his entire time there, and it's rung true here in Tampa as well. I mean, it just depends on game script, and that's really just kind of how that they run it. If it's a Fournette game, well then it'll be a Fournette game. But if they get into situations where they need to start hucking the ball everywhere, it's going to be a Gio game.
Yep. Let's see. I'm just trying to see who we had. So against Washington, 65% of the snaps for Fournette, 29% for Gio Bernard on offense. You also get 28% of the snaps on special teams. So maybe he catches a punt, houses it. You get points for that. Ronald Jones just got no action in that game.
Well, you
And
can
I mean,
get
he's
you
just
can
been in
get
the
Gio.
doghouse for Bruce Arians, but I mean, sometimes Arians loves to roll him out there. And if he's running well, he'll let him keep running. He's just like he has a, I don't know. It's the weirdest like rotation.
But I feel like we've seen this sometimes too with Gio, where if the Buccaneers are, it's getting close to half, they're running 2 minute. He's just going to be out there. That's just
Yeah.
how they're going to move the ball with him out there.
Actually, those last 2 games are probably not indicative of what they're going to do if we assume a blowout. Let's look at the snaps for the Bucs running backs against that Bears game at home so Fournette 53, Rojo 19, Geo 15, Keyshawn Vaughn 11%. So a bloodbath, and then Tom Brady 89%, Blaine Gabbert 11. That was a 38-3 beatdown of a bad football team at home, their last home game. So it's possible that Rojo actually ends up getting a decent amount of run if this game is
Truly out of hand.
So if it's a closer game, and that makes sense, that it stands to reason that they will use Gio Bernard, and that Rojo is their guy who will come in to sort of just chew up clock and
More of a victory.
Because they were beating the
cigar
Eagles
than
pretty
anything.
bad too, right? And then the Eagles just stormed through the back door. Rojo outsnapped Gio Bernard in that game as well. So that's something to consider. All right, they smoked the Dolphins too. I'm just trying to figure out so in other words, if you think it's going to be a close game, I don't think you want to use Gio. So
Right.
in theory, we could pop out Gio and throw Rojo in there, but we don't need to do it right now. Gio outsnapped Rojo. God, they are not afraid to pull Tom Brady in a blowout, huh? Huh.
I mean, you don't really want to keep that 44-year-old out there too long.
No, you don't. I mean, just looking at these games where they destroyed teams, he's only playing. I mean, he's playing 84, 85, 86% of the snaps now. You're probably getting several touchdowns from Tom Brady. So it's like if it's a blowout, Brady's going to get his points. Right. But I just sort of wonder if there's something to the idea that let's build a Costanza lineup. Let's clear that out. But anyway, if you're building you got to think about this. The game script is very important for the running back selections on the bottom end here. So let's say that Danny Dimes.
Yeah. Well, we're saying what? We're saying Giants win, Giants onslaught.
I don't think it's Giants. I don't think we want to do a Giants win. I think it's an under. I was sort of even thinking Giants put up garbage time points after Bucs sit Brady. So Daniel Jones as your captain. Let's see. Yeah, Danny Dimes is the captain. Tom Brady in the flex. It's gonna be tough to get a ton of guys in there. And then let's see who else works. I mean, because all these optimals are just popping out 4-2 Giants. So 4-2 Bucs. So I'm sort of thinking 4-2 Giants.
Well, if you want I have one that's 4-2 Giants, but it's a little bit more. And this was supposed to be like a Costanza-y, like
Giants win.
Yeah, Giants kind of roll. And I went Jones, Brady, Barkley, Tony, Slayton, Gronk.
Okay.
And so it was basically the Giants go up big. Brady's scrambling. He's honing in on his go-to guy in Gronkowski, and that's basically where we're at.
Okay. I get down with that. Yeah. I mean, this is like Daniel Jones takes some shots down the field and is just feeding Tony, and the Bucs just can't cover these guys. Or I mean, this could also be, like similar to the 29-19? Let's see what did they lose? 29-19 to the Washington football team?
Yes, something similar to that.
Yeah. 29-19. So it's like a low scoring-ish game. Brady doesn't play very well somehow. Daniel Jones does. The Bucs the Giants are pounding Barkley. Man, yeah. I just wonder how. I guess that in this case, do you need the Giants defense for this? Probably not. Because if the Giants are up, Brady's going to be throwing it down the field. Like they're not going to get just blown out at home on Monday Night Football. They're just not. As an 11-point favorite. Now the Giants could win the game. Don't get me wrong, but if they win, I think it'll be a much closer game.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other thoughts on DFS?
No, I like
that. I like that Costanza lineup. I think 4-2 Giants.
That's
2
the biggest
Bucs.
thing. Yeah, if you can get a 4-2 Giants, I think that's going to be.
There's going to be a ton of 3-3s and a bunch of 4 Bucs, 2 Giants. So if I'm doing stuff that's different, I'm probably, and not that you can't win with 3-3 or 4-2, but if I'm doing stuff that's different, I'm going 5-1 Bucs or 4-2 Giants. And God, the problem is Brady just typically distributes so much. Let me do one more. I'm going to do a 4-2 Giants and see if I can't get. I want Brady and Godwin. I don't hate Gronk, obviously. Leave Daniel Jones as the captain. Leave Brady in there. This might be too hard to do. So Danny Dimes captain, Brady flex, Godwin flex, and then so then we're gonna have to get more Giants. So let's go Tony.
You could go Tony, Rudolph, and Ross.
Yeah. There you go. Down to Rudolph and just the way that the pricing works out. Oh, we got 6,000 left if we go Rudolph. Oh no, we don't need Ross. Close out Ross. We go X Ross and let's see who we got. I think 5,600 on the table. That'd be wild.
Oh, my fault.
No, it's fine. I was like, no, I'm not knocking. Well, see, look, but this is the problem. You get to that quarterback, so it's like you can't. And then the next closest Giants player is. Oh goodness gracious! This is what we mean when we say that this. This is why the pricing pushes people to 3-3.
Yep.
Giants. I'll tell you what. Take out Danny Dimes at the captain.
I'll tell you this though: if you're leaving about whatever it is, a little
you'll
be
unique. That's for sure. Let's go Saquon captain, and I wonder if we can get Danny Dimes after that. Yep. Oh wait, no, I'm an idiot. Oh. 9.6. We're gonna get 900. Okay, we're gonna do.
What was Slayton? What was Slayton's price? Could you get rid of Rudolph and go Slayton? Was he cheaper than Rudolph?
Slayton is 3,200. We get rid of Tony, add Danny Dimes, and see who we got left. That'd be the price. Again, the pricing just pushes you to. So you can go Slayton here if you feel the need to get. Although I think with Barkley as captain, you're probably fine. I mean, again, we're trying to build out you leave 2,700 on the table. It's perfectly fine. I'm just, there's just not one that's not going to be popping up in the optimals, to say the least. I think if you have Barkley as captain, just because people will lean towards the Buccaneers as captain, maybe you could end up going, you could easily go 3-3 or even 4-2 Bucs. And
just have a Giant as your captain. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be different. And that would sort of feed into the Bucs have a lead. Maybe they're just running the ball into running the ball for Fournette and Rojo, but you got Danny Dimes dumping off to Barkley. So yeah, I mean, that doesn't really set up it. You need to, I don't know. That game script doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it's not out of control. All right. Yeah. It's a bizarrely priced slate. Feels like it almost always is. But we'll find a way. We're gonna get this million. We're gonna hit this $1 million at some point.
It'll be the week we don't play it. You know.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah. And Thanksgiving DFS actually I'm excited for too because that's you get the 3-game slate. That's a little looser, a little more fun to build stuff around. All right, Sully. As always, good stuff. Thanks for everybody for watching, for listening. Hope we cash these bets, and we will see you later in the week.